Okay, so in the last session we just completed up to this. Even an instance also we created and we submitted for deployment, and we verified the status as completed. Now we'll go and create the values in value sets. Okay, we'll go and create the segment values within the value sets. Fine, just go to instance. Our username is Fusion India, right? So we created a project called as Cloud INC. Just go to project. Later we'll discuss what are the tasks you can create from outside of the project. Those will just differentiate why we have to create few tasks within the project, why other tasks we can create from outside of the project. Those points we'll understand detail level. For now, whatever the task you perform, try to do it from the project only. Go to our implementation project. Just to access to our project which is mapped with our user, click on overview so that you can see the projects which are assigned to this current user. So open this project. What task we want to perform? Segment values in value sets. So you have to search for the task called as chart of accounts value set values. We have seen these all tasks in the sequence, right? Just click on the same task name. It will take us to that path where you can create that values. See here, value sets we created, structure we created, instance we created. Instance level only we did the deployment. Now we are going to create the segment values. So task name is manage chart of accounts value set values. Click on go to task icon. Okay, fine. Now to create the value set values, you have to select the value set. So in case of EBS, without selecting the value set also, we have option where you can go and give the segment name, and under that segment you can create the values which will be stored in the respective value set which is associated with the segment. But here we don't have that sort of option. Only the option is you have to select the value set to create the values into that. There is no other option where through segment you can create. No. So find our value set. Our value set name starts with Cloud INC, right? Cloud INC company. Search. So this is our value set name. Click on manage values. So within our value set we don't have any values. If we click on search, you don't find anything. Reason, we didn't add any values into this value set, right? Click on create. So at the time of value set creation, maximum length we given as a 4. So enter any company code with the 4 digits, say 1000. Here you can write the company name. So Cloud INC Financial Services. And here we have allow budgeting and allow posting, which we call as segment qualifiers in EBS. In Fusion, the same we call as value attributes. Okay, value attributes. And summary. Summary, if you set to yes, system will take this value as a parent value. Okay, your summary yes means system will understand as a parent. With that value you cannot create any transaction. In the transaction process you cannot use. Okay, wherever some calculations required and some allocations required, there only you can use it. We know that too. Parent and child relations, why we create an EBS, same rules applicable. Just make sure that it is no only. By default system takes no, and the same you accept. This summary, allow posting, allow budgeting, these three we call as value attributes. Up to release 12, now we are in release 13. Okay, till 12 they are giving the title also for these three as a value attributes. Okay, value attributes from 13 onwards the title they removed. Okay, so that's how they are just giving, and we created one company and we'll create two more. Click on add, say company 2000, say cloud inc consulting services. Accept the default value attributes. Click on new, say company 3000 cloud inc, say bpo services. Okay, done. This is how just we can create the segment values for company value set. Now when we are trying to create the values for company value set, we are able to get these three columns, three value attributes. Only the reason is this value set is assigned to company segment within the cloud inc accounting flex field, that structure submitted for deployment. That is only the reason why we are getting. So if this value set is not assigned to any one of the segment, and where the segment is included, that value, that chart of account structure is not deployed, you cannot get these value attributes as per EBS segment qualifiers. You don't get it. Notice that this value set association with the segment got deployed through chart of account structure. That is the reason we are getting. Done. Say save and close. Fine. Just so we created three company values. Now we'll create the departments. Value set name is cloud inc department. So cloud inc department. Click on manage values. Just click on create. For company value set, department value set also we given maximum length as a 4. Here also we'll go with the same numbering. We know, and just when we just do the implementations, all about we'll do the grouping and all primarily for accounts, but here also we can do that. So here we'll use the department names as a finance department. Accept the default value attributes. Sorry, we can add a few more. By no issues, we'll just come back to this. Click on search. We have only one department. We'll add few more departments. Just click on add 2000 HR, 3000 marketing. Okay, this is how you can add a number of departments. This anyway we know how to do it. Say save and close. Now the next segment is account. Search for account value set. Search. Here you could see the same. Then click on manage values. So since it's account segment, this value set is associated with the account segment. To account segment, what are the segment label we assign, that properties will be applied to this value set. Click on add. See here, because of natural account segment label which we assign to account segment, to that account segment only this value set is assigned. For this value set, these are the qualifiers as per previous segment qualifiers. Here value attribute system is showing. We'll go one by one. So let me just create 1000 as a returned earnings account. Okay, we have a predefined value set only in the Vision instance, that is a corporate account. That we'll use later. For now, just to understand how to create the values, account values, will create few values. Summary, allow posting, allow budgeting, account type, third party control account, reconcile. This is all we have in EBS also, right? So summary we normally we enable. Here we are just marking as yes or no. And financial category. The financial category primarily we use for reconciliation purpose. And when you load the data through spreadsheet, so automatically to select specific account into specific code combination, the setup part will use it. We'll discuss now, it's not required. Just notice we have one value attribute as per EBS, one segment qualifier called as financial category. Rest all are same as EBS. Allow budgeting, allow posting, account type, third party, reconcile. These are all five we have in EBS also. Here the additional one you can see as a financial category. So that will understand, that will start using when we work in the payables to do the reconciliation between the payables and GL or AR and GL or any other application. As a part of wrapped implementation also, this information will be very useful. We'll see that. So now just select account type for this retained earnings as a owner's equity, right? So select, same way you can create few more accounts. Sorry, here give the number. Admin expense, account type is expense. So cash. We'll be using other value set just for understanding just to how to create the values. We are creating 2 3 values, that's all. Done. Now you can say save and close. So we have 3 value sets. In the 3 value sets we created minimum values. Say save and close. Done. We completed this task. At the same time we assigned value attributes, nothing but segment qualifiers. Done. Fine. Chart of accounts are ready. Okay. To create the account primary ledger, accounting calendar is required. Yes, we created. And currency need to be enabled. We no need to enable. By default all currencies are enabled. And we require chart of accounts. Yes, chart of accounts we just created, now it's ready. And accounting method anyway it's seeded. Okay, this is already available. By using these 4 components we'll go on to create the primary ledger, and we'll see that list of tasks, okay, which we are going to perform now. So say create primary ledger, and the separate task specify ledger options. Okay, we have to set up the retained earnings account as a mandatory account for primary ledger. We have to perform the separate task called as specify ledger options. After specifying the ledger options, we'll go on to create legal entity. So in case of EBS, when you create legal entity, in the legal entity definition itself, you can create the address for legal entity, but here that option is not available. So that is the reason. First, we have to create the legal address. By using that address, we have to create the legal entity. So before creating legal entity, we have to create legal address. So ideally, we know there's a physical office address with which address they have a registration, right? So create legal address, then create legal entity. Next step is assign legal entity to primary ledger. After assign the legal entity to primary ledger, within the primary ledger, what are the balance and segment values we have, those will assign to respective legal entities. But here we are going to create only one legal entity. We'll assign our 3 balance and segment values, company values, to same legal entity. So assign balancing segment values, we call as BSV values, right, to legal entity. After completing this, we have to complete a primary ledger definition. We know in EBS also, just after doing all these activities within the ledger creation page, like from ledger options, we could see one tab called as complete. So once you just click on that, the status will turn into completed. If the ledger status is complete, then only you can use that ledger for any responsibility assignment by using GL ledger name profile option EBS, right? The same rule is applicable here. We have to complete the primary ledger definition, and the system should update the status as completed. Then only this ledger you can use, okay, to record the transactions. We'll complete the primary ledger definition. Okay, after completing the primary ledger definition, what we could do is we can uh, will anyway, after completing, we'll check the status. It's that is a simple task. We'll do it. After that, we'll assign GL roles to user. We'll assign GL roles to user, but to those roles we have to assign primary ledger also, right? That we call as provide data access for user. For the user has access to which roles, for the roles we have to provide the data access. Here data access means ledger access. Data access means in current scenario what we are discussing, ledger access. What are the other data accesses? Maybe your business unit, nothing but operating it in EBS, and it could be inventory organization or costing organization, or it could be anything. Okay, organization. So giving access to specific organization we call as data access. Here in this scenario, data access means primary ledger. Okay, provide data access for user to specific roles, which roles are assigned to the user. Here the connectivity, how it works. For primary ledger, will assign to role, role will assign to user. So primary ledger to role, role to user. In EBS, primary ledger to responsibility, responsibility user. Similar. Okay, but when we do this, we'll do in the reverse way. First, we'll create user to user. We'll assign the role first. After that, for specific user to specific role, we assign the primary ledger. So that is nothing but provide data access for user. Okay, done. Okay, so assign roles to user, that will do here. And then through this provide data access, what are the roles are associated with the user, to those roles we will assign the primary ledger. So after doing this assignment, you have to run LDAP job. Already discussed what is the purpose. LDAP job. For role synchronization, for which user, which roles are assigned, to those roles, which primary ledger is assigned. Okay, to synchronize that information in the LDAP directories, we have to run the LDAP job. After running the LDAP job, we'll go and open the periods, open GL periods, and we'll create one journal and post it just to test the ledger functionality is working fine or not. That's all. So we'll go with this sequence of tasks. Time permits, will complete everything in today's session. Otherwise, we'll continue in the other session by completing how much we can do it today. Fine. Now we'll go and create the primary ledger. Before we start with the system related definitions, any questions on this, please? It's a very quite similar task which we do in EBS case. These roles and all, just you compare with responsibilities. The rest everything remains same. Fine. We'll go and create the primary ledger. Go to our implementation project. Search for the task called as primary ledgers. The actual task is manage primary ledgers. In order to search for any task by starting with the manage, not required. Just click on manage primary ledgers. Just click on go to task icon. So here you could see there are many primary ledgers which are already created where the ledger statuses are confirmed, means completed. There are few ledgers the status you could see as a in process. These we cannot use. Okay, fine. See here you can see many primary ledgers which are created by the guys who are practicing on this instance, but this is a vision instance, right? In case of EBS, when you look at the vision instance, you could see few primary ledgers, certain definitions which starts with a vision, right? So you can see with a vision, but here you don't see the definitions like vision. I'll show you the names. Vision USA primary ledger, somebody created that. Basically you can see. So yes, this is how just they are creating. UAE primary ledger, UK primary ledger, US primary. This is how they're given the naming convention. Okay, so Spain with the country specification they are creating the ledgers. Those you could see as a part of vision instance. The rest of all the ledgers are created by so people who are practicing on this instance. Fine. So we'll create our own primary ledger. Click on create. So provide the name. So name is we are using for everything as a cloud inc. Okay, later we'll create user also with the cloud inc only. With the cloud inc name will create the user. Now you can say cloud inc USA primary ledger. You may take the same name or you may write more information as a description and select your chart of accounts. Here the name wise they given chart of accounts. Reality what we select is chart of account structure instance. For chart of account structure, we given the name as Cloud INC Accounting Flex field. But for instance, we given chart of account structure flex. We can find only instance name, not structure name. Okay. Cloud INC Accounting Flex. It's a instance name which we given. The accounting calendar. So Cloud INC Accounting Calendar. Currency USD. Accounting method. So standard accrual. And say save and close. System will create our primary ledger. And in case of EBS, once you provide this information, once you say save and save, just it will ask us want to go to accounting setup home page or you want to go to accounting options. Then we'll go to accounting options and we'll provide the retained earnings account and how you want to use that ledger in the relevant other processes. Depending on the concept, we may set relevant controls or defaults. Okay, if you want to navigate to that page, we have a separate task called as specify ledger options. Okay, specify ledger options. Through specify ledger options only you can set up retained earnings account. Okay, here if you want to specify the ledger options, first we have to choose the ledger name. Once you choose the ledger name, then it will open that ledger options page and you can specify the retained earnings and other information which is required. So this task you can do only from the project. Okay, this task you can do only from the project. So we'll try from that FSM homepage also how it works. So now we'll proceed and we'll set up retained earnings account. So here we're done with the ledger creation. Now we are going to specify the ledger options. We are going to set up the ledger options. Task is specify ledger options. Click on go to task icon. System will ask us you want to set the ledger option for which ledger. Click on LOV, say select and add. Click on apply and go to task. Here we have to select our ledger. For which ledger we want to set ledger options. Cloud INC. So enter the name here. Use enter from the keyboard. It's a search function. One second, we have a big list of primary ledgers. Let it fetch. Oh, it's got refreshed. Fine, no issues. Okay, specify ledger options. Select this value, then click on apply and go to task. Sure, you can give the name as Cloud INC. Use enter from the keyboard. So yes, we have a ledger which starts with the Cloud INC. Cloud INC USA primary ledger. Now we have to say what is the status of our ledger? In process. Click on save and close. Now it will take us to ledger options. If you want to change the ledger name here, you can change anyway. Calendar, currency, chart of accounts, you cannot change. Same rule is applicable in EBS as well as Fusion also. Only the component you can change is accounting method anytime. Okay, so these are the ledger options page. So select journal language. Basically in EBS case it gets default, but here it's not happening. Just select it. Then provide returned earnings account here. Select company. Select department. Provide return earnings account. Save. So that's all. As a basic information we have to provide this. When we are working on GL side, depending on the concept, we'll just come back to the same options and will enable, disable, and accordingly just will be setting up relevant information will be working. For now, no other information is mandated to set up. This would be enough to complete the ledger definition. Say save and close. The same options you see if you compare with EBS, the accounting options page, the same information. Ledger options, there also you can see as a ledger options, same information. Now we selected our ledger, right? If you notice here, we have a column called as selected scope. So their system updated. From next time onwards, if you want to go to ledger options, so you no need to select ledger, already that is selected. So by selecting which ledger you are performing some task, that would get selected into scope. So again you want to go to ledger options, already your ledger is selected as selected scope. If you click on go to task icon, it will take you to that ledger only. That's how you can just connect, you can set as a default your ledger so that you don't need to select before going. Say you are doing the implementation and you have two ledgers. Okay, you are doing the implementation and you have two ledgers or more than one ledger, say. So in that case, how to set up? So now for Cloud USA primary ledger, you completed ledger options. Now you want to set up ledger options for Cloud INC or say Cloud India primary ledger. So in that case, we have to change the scope. If you click on that, it will take you to the this ledger related ledger options. If you want to set the ledger options for other ledger, click on the ledger name which is selected in the scope. From so that it will display, you can change the scope. Select, say save and close. Now it will take us to Google USA primary ledger related ledger options. Since we navigated to this ledger only will get defaulted in our project level in the selected scope. Now you see, so wherever ledger is applicable for the relevant these setups, to perform these setups, ledger selection is required. One time if you select it, is defaulting for all. That means when you are performing all these setups, you no need to select the ledger. If you click on go to task icon, it will take you to that ledger. That's how just you can simplify that selection. Now anyway, this ledger is not our ledger. We'll change the scope. So this sort of, sorry, here this is our ledger, right? Cloud INC USA primary ledger, say save and close. So this kind of selection is not possible directly from FSM home page. So this you can do from project, and we have one more section where you can do it. Okay, so selected, we done with the ledger options. Say you want to set the ledger options, you didn't create the project. So without creating the projects, you can perform all the tasks. Whatever we completed so far, all you can do it. Just here, all you can create. You can create the accounting calendar. You can create the chart of accounts by following all these tasks. To create all these, project is not mandatory for all these. But if you want to set the ledger options, project is required. Through ledger options only, through project only, you can set the ledger options. Say I want to set ledger options without creating the project. So go to task list, go to search for specify ledger options. Ledger options you are specifying within this, you are searching for within this instance, not in the project. Specify ledger option, yes we have. So click on specify ledger options. Now it won't ask you to which ledger we want to set. So there is one ledger which is created in this environment. Okay, so as a beginning, so it will take to that only. You cannot, there is no option to switch to your ledger. Okay, it will default the first created ledger within this environment through project. So that only it will default. It won't take you to the ledger for which ledger you want to set the ledger options. So through project only you can set. Directly from here you cannot set. If not from here, okay, from here anyway you cannot set. If not from project, from where you can set it? From here you can do it. So how we will navigate to this page? By clicking on setup and maintenance. So you want to set the ledger options, but you don't have a project. If you don't have a project, you cannot set the ledger options directly from FSM homepage by just taking the task as a search, right? So in that case, from where we can do? You can land in this page, select financials, here search for the task called as specify ledger options. Both are same, select any one of them. Just click on any one of that task. Specify ledger options. Here you have a scope selection. You have to click on scope only. But remember, we never do from here. We always do from the project only. Okay, so from here we'll do it. So you can select any one of the ledger. You can say save and close. It will get selected. It will take us to that ledger page. A2 or a USA Corp. Done. Okay, so just do it from project only. Directly from FSM homepage you cannot do, but from this page you can search and you can select the scope and you can do it. But don't try to do from here. Okay, do everything from project, so that can be used for moving the setup from one to other environment. Done. So that's all about ledger options. Any question here, please? Hope you got the point. Like if you want to set the ledger options for multiple ledgers, what we have to do, we have to change the value which is there in the selected scope. That's all. Fine. Next task is create legal address. How to create the legal address for legal entity. So do it from project. This you can do from any function, like it can be search page or the selection which we have seen just now, or else project. But let's try to do everything from the project. Search for legal addresses. Okay, manage legal addresses. Click on go to task icon. click on create. So by default, whatever you create, you can get the search option. Okay, below always you can see create new. Any task you perform in the this vision environment, by default you see search. So you want to create the legal address for which country? Yes, United States. The address line 1, line 2. Just enter any test, say cloud inc address. So all are optional fields, but no issues, we can fill it. And select postal code, so that system will default to city, state and to county. So from where this information is coming from? Manage geographies. Manage geographies, we have this data. So that's the reason we are getting all this. Say okay.
No, Nokia.
Yeah, no, yeah, Nokia only, but through Nokia we taken into manage geographies.
Okay.
No, from Nokia source we got into manage geographies. If not Nokia, from other source also we can get it, or else you may enter through manual. Yeah, in this case, US case, Nokia data only we taken into manage geographies. Yes. Okay, then say save and close. This is how just simply we can create the legal address. Now we can go and create the legal entity. So we know legal entity, it's a company registration identification. So search for legal entity. It will be task called as manage legal entities. Okay, manage legal entity. So click on go to task icon against manage legal entity task. Here we got two options: search legal entity or manage legal entity. Within the manage legal entity, we have to select option called as create new. Okay, most of the tasks, once you click on create, it will take you to that page, but a few tasks you may see the selection whether you want to create or you want to select existing. Here we want to create new legal entity. Select create new, then click on apply and go to task. Now it will take us to the page where we can create the new legal entity. So these all are the legal entities which are already defined in this environment. Now we'll create our own legal entity. Click on create. So United States. Why United States is getting defaulted? So in EPS, how it gets defaulted normally? Profile option we have here, also same profile option we have. So because of that default country profile option, this is getting defaulted. So legal entity name you can give as a cloud inc USA legal entity. The legal entity identifier cloud, some number you can enter, identification number, and select legal address. We given the legal address as a cloud, right? Just you type here, it will come cloud inc. This is the one which we defined, legal address. Hunting number, IAN number, any number you can enter. Reality we get from the client through that documentation, right? So here it's a mandatory, you have to mark this legal entity as a payroll statutory unit and a legal employee. What is the meaning of payroll statutory unit? There is a question mark, means help information, you can see that. The payroll statutory unit, the purpose is, okay, legal entity registered to report payroll tax and social insurance. Okay, that means through this registration, okay, if you are going to report the, if you are going to run the payrolls, the tax need to be reported and the social security insurance and all that has to be reported. And your legal employer, which will have employees, okay, the legal entity that employs people. Okay, ideally every legal entity should have these functions.
Next one.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question before you
Please.
explain about that?
Yeah.
Difference between the legal entity identifier and this tax identification number.
Who is asking this?
This is Srini.
Srini. Yeah. Srini, this is just a registration number, and PAN number, TIN number, those all are different. Those numbers. Okay. So this is a company registration number. Based on the registration, depending on country, we'll just apply for that respective tax related identification numbers. Those you can enter in that field. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, just definitely every legal entity is a registered entity. So if you are going to just take the employees and all, so this should be the kind of entity which will have a rights to take the employees. In the same way, it is going to involve in the payroll process for payroll tax. Okay, definitely this has to be marked as a payroll statutory unit under legal employer. Mark this to as a mandatory. Otherwise, this legal entity you cannot use in the further process. Make this to as a mandatory. Okay, otherwise you cannot use this legal entity in the process, whatever the setups we are going to do. Say save and close. That's all. Similar definition same as EBS, right? EBS will have a section identification information, address information, and other details. Three sections of information will be defining when you create legal entity. Here just legal entity information and registration information. The address information also we are creating a separate task and we are including at the time of this definition. Okay, so anyway it will save it. So done. Now the next task is this legal entity we have to assign to our primary ledger. So this task also we can do from project only. From outside of the project you cannot do. Directly from FSM homepage through search function you cannot do it. This can be done only from the project. Assign legal entity to primary ledger because the primary ledger selection is required in the scope. Even this task, okay, and even this task also is all these tasks you should perform from the project only. Directly from FSM homepage through search function you cannot do it. Fine, done. Now we'll go and assign the legal entity to primary ledger.
Where are we assigning this legal address to the legal entity?
Assign, just now we assigned, right? I selected legal address. I think you didn't notice.
Sorry, that's my bad.
Yeah, I just searched and selected that too. It's not directly I selected. We searched for that information and we selected. I'll just show you that. You can select existing, you can open and see, or else just let's go with the new option. You could see that. If you click on create, here is the legal address. Here we selected. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, so done. So now we are going to assign the legal entity to primary ledger. Okay, search for the task called as assign legal entity. Okay, task would be assign legal entities. Click on assign legal entities. Assign legal entity means assign legal entity to primary ledger. That is the meaning of that. In short, they are just giving as assign legal entities. So assign legal entities. So here already our ledger is selected in the scope. We want to assign the any legal entity to which ledger, that ledger should be there in the scope. Our system is taking this into this scope at the time of specify ledger option selected. Wherever primary ledger selection is required, automatically selected for all. Now when you are going to assign legal entities, again you no need to select, directly click on go to task icon. So it will allow you to assign any legal entity to this primary ledger. If you want to assign your legal entity to different primary ledger, you click on the scope and change it, then you can assign other legal entity to other ledger. Okay, now click on go to task icon. So we can assign any legal entity to only this primary ledger through this window. Okay, here we have a assignment icon. Click on assign. search for our legal entity. Legal entity name is Cloud Inc. Search, select, say apply, and click on done. So we assigned Cloud Inc. USA legal entity to Cloud Inc. USA primary ledger. If you have a multiple legal entities, same process you can assign here. Okay, say save and close. Now what is the next task? So within that primary ledger, what are the balance and segment values we have? Those we have to assign to legal entity. Right? Assign balance and segment values to legal entity. Within our primary ledger, okay, what are the values that we have for a company? Within that we enter three companies. Now these three companies we call as three balance and segment values, since we assign primary balancing segment label to company segment. So assign those three balance and segment values to our legal entity, or else if you have multiple legal entities, respectively will be assigning balance and segment values to specific LE. Legal entity LE, right? Or else LE. Fine. We'll go on to perform this task. Assign balance and segment values to legal entities. Here itself you can see the task. Assign balance and segment values to legal entities. So you want to assign the balance and segment values to legal entities. The balance and segment values where we have within this ledger. If you have those balance and segment values through other ledger with a chart of accounts value set information, you can change that ledger. From that values ledger, what are the value sets we have, you can assign to specific legal entity. Okay, so already here we assign our LE to this primary ledger, so that is already our LE is mapped to this. So within that primary ledger, what are the balance and segment values we have, we can assign to the same legal entity or one or multiple legal entities. Okay, just click on this task. Task name is assign balance and segment values to legal entities. Click on go to task icon. So here is the legal entity and here is our primary ledger. Within the primary ledger, which is the balance and segment company, to that company which value set is assigned, company value set. That value set system is fetching. That means within this Cloud Inc. company value set, how many values we have, all those we call as a balance and segment values. Those only you can assign to this legal entity. To assign, click on add. So three balance and segment values we have. 1000, select, it will display the description. Then say we have to assign 3, right? So instead of clicking on save and close, say save and assign another. We assigned 1. Now the second one, if you want to assign, you can change the legal entity here, but we have only 1. So select 2000, say save and do assign another. Select balance and segment value called as 3000. Now you can say save and close. Now you can see as 3 balance and segment values are assigned to this legal entity. Now say save and close. Done. Now we have to complete the primary ledger. When you complete the primary ledger, what happens is, so we have Oracle database, and we have S-based database. Okay, we have Oracle database and S-based database. In Oracle database, what are the primary ledger we have? Within the primary ledger, what we have? We have periods. We have a COA structure instance. Okay, within our primary ledger in Oracle database, within our Oracle database, within our primary ledger, what we have? Periods we have through calendar. Okay, chart of accounts instance we have. Within that we have a segment values, we have a currency, and automatically just by default by seeded we have amount types, right? PTD, YTD, QTD, right? Those are just seeded information which will be applied for calendar related filtration like PTD balances, QTD, and all. Primarily, okay, let it be. Other than this, there are a few more other components also. This is all we have. Periods we have like chart of account structure instance within that segments. Okay, the segment values, currency, and all. So within this primary ledger, we have all this where this information primary ledger, and within the primary ledger, what are the information we have, where it got stored? It got stored in the Oracle database. Whenever you just submit this primary ledger for completion, and you try to complete it, okay, once system identifies everything is fine with this primary ledger, this total information, okay, this total information system will transfer to SBase. Okay, this total information system will transfer to SBase database. In SBase database, system will take the periods as a one dimension, the chart of accounts as a one dimension, the segments as a one dimension, segment values, since segment values this system will take as a members, and currency is one dimension. Along with that, there are some predefined dimensions which will be moved from Oracle database to SBase database. So this information goes into SBase database. So, okay, done. Your primary ledger completed. This primary ledger definition is submitted to SBase. Now your primary ledger will be available in our SBase database also. Now you created say 10 journals. The 10 journals you can see in Oracle database, but the 10 journals related, the 10 journals are belongs to which period, which chart of account, which segment, which segment value, currency, that information summary level it keep going into SBase database. When data is available in the SBase database, on top of it you can prepare the FRS reports. Okay, summarized reports, simplified reports with a multi-dimensional model, because data would be available in the space, the multi-dimensional with cubes. Okay, in EBS, in Oracle database we call as a column, there we call as cube. Those will be with multi dimensions. Dimensions means period is one dimension, CO is one dimension, segment is one dimension, segment values is members, it's not a dimension you call, currency is one dimension, amount type. Okay, so few other dimensions also we have, which system will submit automatically from Oracle database to SBase database along with this information. So this is what will happen whenever you complete the ledger. First point is system will validate our ledger in Oracle database and it will complete. Whenever it's complete, the same we can use. That's what it happens in EBS. But in Fusion, along with this validation and completion, one more task what system will perform is automatically it will synchronize. Automatically this information will get updated in the SBase database, these definitions. Whenever we have a transaction in the GL, whenever only GL, the journal you may create directly in the GL, that may flow from APR or the CM from any applications to GL. Once this is posted, only the journal related balances information will get posted to SBase. Already all the periods will be having, all the currencies will be having here from your primary ledger, all the segments, values, chart of account instance, everything will be there. Only from journal balances information will go and hit to that. And if you want to create any reports by using FRS, okay, Financial Reporting Studio, this got replaced with FSZ. In case of EBS we have FSZ. Now in Fusion we don't have FSZ, so we have FRS. FRS is Hyperion product, Hyperion Financial Reporting Studio. Here we call as FRS only, but actually reality that is Hyperion. In case of Hyperion, this simply we call as Hyperion Financial Reporting, HFR, Hyperion Financial Reporting. This is the name they use as a part of Hyperion product. Now from that Hyperion they take in the future into Fusion. Here we call as FRS, Financial Reporting Studio. Through the studio, if you want to prepare any reports, it's very simple, drag and drop. Okay, you might be having some experience in case of EBS also. Many clients used to go with Hyperion reporting for the reporting requirements. So just drag and drop options. Simply you can create the reports when data is available in their space. This is what happens when you submit the ledger. Any questions here, please? Fine. So this.
Lakshman, there were a few tasks earlier when you said they should only be created through a project task and not separately. Can you notate those so that we know which task can be done?
No, we'll come to know already whatever we did. I was talking about it, right? Simple logic we have to understand. You can mute from your end after any question. Anyone, my request is please keep on mute so that we can discuss any cross question. Yes, you can unmute. And
I was going to say something, that's why I unmuted.
Yeah, okay, no issues. No, I'm not saying some in current case. Just I'm trying to convey that. That's it. Fine. See. So the point is, it's very simple. You don't need to remember task names also, but once you start working, automatically you'll come to know all this. Simple point is, for which task scope selection is required. Those you have to do from project only. So far, what are the tasks we performed with the scope selection? Specify ledger options, right? Assign legal entity to primary ledger. The third one is assign balance and segment values to legal entity. These three tasks only we perform. Okay, we'll keep working on it and we'll come to know many other also. Okay, so simple point is wherever scope selection is required, the task we have to do from project only. If not project, so there is some other option also. We have seen that offering selection from there, directly scope selection. That's how you can perform, but that cannot be tagged as a project. If it is everything through project, it will be easy to copy the status from one to other instance. Okay, this is the point we have to understand. Once you are ready with the primary ledger, you have to submit for completion, for validation and completion. In case of just EBS, yes, system will validate and it will complete within the Oracle database. In Fusion, the same first step it will happen here also. As a second step, the same information, if everything is fine, validated, automatically that information goes to S-based database also. All these are the dimensions. So whenever you have a journal information here, once you post, only that amounts. Okay, only amounts, not everything. Only amount information goes to S-based database. Based on that, the reports we can prepare, which is it's a very simple reporting tool. Any kind of complex reports also you can create. Tool is simple, function is simple, but you can use in greater way. Okay, so these are the points you have to understand. Any questions here to understand this point, please? And it automatic synchronization, we no need to do anything. Whenever you submit, it will trigger and it will submit our ledger to space. Whenever you create journal and post it, automatically it goes and sit in the space database in cubes, in multi-dimensional cubes. The same data would be available for FSC report. When you go with the FRS reports, you are not going to fetch the data from Oracle database, you are going to fetch the data from space database, which supports very faster reporting. Any questions to understand this point, please? If no questions, we'll just go and complete the ledger definition. Seems to no questions. Fine. So now we'll go and complete the primary ledger definition. Okay. So the task name would be review and submit accounting configuration. This is the actual task name. Review and submit accounting configuration. This task will perform to complete our ledger. We'll go and see that. So here, like when we are just working on primary ledger options, here itself you can see the task, but they place the task under secondary ledgers. Reality that should be here above to the secondary ledgers. They think they misplaced, but anyway, finally we have to perform this task. Review and submit accounting configuration. So it's already, that is our ledger got selected into scope, right? Just click on that, means we are going to submit this ledger for completion, validation and completion. Okay, review and submit account. System will review, okay, and it will submit the accounting configuration, it will validate, and if everything is fine, it will mark the status as complete, as well as automatically it will trigger the jobs to transfer this ledger information from Oracle database to S-based database. Just click on go to task icon. It's all about submitting the job. Okay, click on submit. You just before that just notice what is the ledger status. Okay, before we go and submit this, let's go and verify what is our ledger status. Go to manage primary ledger's task. Search for our ledger. Our ledger name is cloud inc. Use enter. It will system will search. What is the status of our ledger? In process. Fine. Now we are going to submit. To submit, what is the task? Review and submit accounting configuration. So here just you have to click on submit. The process, the create accounting configuration process also with ID it's submitted. Say okay. Now if you want to monitor that job which is submitted by system, you can go to ESS job page. I think we tagged right. Submitted. This is what we submitted. We clicked on review and submit accounting configuration. That will trigger this job. Complete accounting configuration. It is calling some child jobs. See, complete accounting configuration, load chart of account values. That means system is loading the chart of account values from our Oracle database to S-based database, and based on that values, and the values will belongs to specific segments, right? It is creating the balance cubes. It is creating the cubes, columns it is creating in the database. So this automatic process. So we have to wait to see as these three jobs completes normal. 100% these always completes normal. There won't be an issue until unless you take some special characters into your chart of accounts definitions and all. Okay, don't take any special characters when you give the chart of account structure name or instance name. Don't use special characters. In that case, this process will fail and your ledger cannot be completed. It will end with error.
Sir, one question here.
Please.
Why should we assign balancing segment value to legal entity?
Why we assign in ABS?
Actually, I don't have idea.
Oh, in that case, you will be having many questions. Fine. So to answer your question, why we have to assign balance and segment values to legal entity? You got the point, meaning of balance and segment values, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So basically, for which segment we assign balancing segment flex field qualifier, that segment values we call as balance and segment values in case of EBS. Here, to which segment we assign balancing segment label, that segment values we call as balancing segment values. So why we have to assign the balance and segment values to legal entity? So we record the business transactions with the balance and segment values only. Whenever you record the transactions with a specific balance and segment values, the transaction related, once you perform the transaction, finally the transaction related business transactions we have to report to which entity, that has to be tracked in each and every transaction. So you will create an invoice in the payables by selecting the balance and segment value called as 1000. Finally, that has to be reported to which entity. With which entity reference you have to report to government. By following which registration you have to report to government. That has to be tagged. That is the reason you have to map.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Fine. I think it is completed. We'll see. Yep, done. So always you can expect this status. So there won't be any issues, but make sure that you are not using any special characters. Special characters in your chart of accounts. Sometimes when you are creating some segments and all, say you are creating the segment called as company. Company you created, somehow you given some space. This also will create the issues when you deploy the chart of accounts. Make sure that no spaces. Okay, you given the segment name, after that no space. After a company something you are entering the value something, some A company, of course segment name we never enter A company B company, but just for example I'm taking A space company, this is fine. But after company, if you are not writing anything, there should not be space. If you create the segment like this will create the issues when you deploy it. Not only this, just any special characters if you use in the chart of account structure or instance definition, so you'll just it will create some issues deployment time. A few issues like okay, that system will ignore over there. Here when you create, so this will try to hit that same information to sbase. As per sbase validation also you may get some issue. Okay, make sure that you won't use special characters. Now we're done with this process. Now we'll go and verify our ledger status. Okay, we submitted. Now we'll go and verify what is our ledger status now. So we are expecting to see that as a completed, nothing but here the display name they are giving as a confirmed, the status they are giving as confirmed, nothing but completed. So go to our implementation project. So when you are practicing on the instance, better you can open in the two tabs, so that all the time from one to other place, all the ways you no need to navigate. You may keep on one page always project page, project other tab you can keep for other tasks, so that so relevantly you can go to specific tab and immediately you can perform. Otherwise all the ways you have to go to ESS page, submission, again going back to the project by clicking 2-3 actions. It's a time taking. Right, for now we'll do it anyway. Click on manage implementation projects, click on overview, open the project, search for the task called as primary ledgers. So click on manage primary ledgers, go to task, right? Here search for our primary ledger. Cloud INC, you could see the status as completed, confirmed. So this is what we need. Now our primary ledger is ready. Okay, done. So now we have to assign the roles to user. To the same roles we have to assign the primary ledger. We have to run the LDAP process and we have to open the GL periods and create journals and post it. It takes time to do it. So better we'll do in the tomorrow session. Okay, any questions from today's session, or any questions based on your practice or any clarity you require on any topic what we discussed or related to this course, please let me know, we can discuss. If no questions, we can wind up. We're done for today. Anyone who wants to drop from the meeting, you can go ahead. If you have any questions, you can stay back. Anyway, the questions also I'll be recording and that you will be getting as a video. We're done for today. Okay, thank you all. Have a good day and good night. And if anybody has
Lakshman.
questions, you can stay back and you can ask.
Lakshman, I have one question.
Please.
It's not relevant to this one, to our GL. So basically, in one of the module, in the Oracle modules, there are hooks or extensions.
Okay.
So can you write extensions on SAS model?
Oh, I'm not a okay. You are talking about PAS. No, what?
Yeah, pass or pass. Can you write like Oracle gives hook? You want to modify your hooks. Suppose one extend something is functionality. You write your custom code like in EBS to incorporate. So that is called extension or hooks. They say in
Yeah,
EBS world.
in pass you can do it. In SAS you cannot do it. Pass you can do that. Pass or IaaS you can do that.
Okay. Another question I have. So here we have for SLAs.
SL.
SLAs. Can we write a custom source or custom code on SaaS model?
No, you cannot.
So my company, suppose one of the company requirement is like instead of giving constant, you want to some dynamic values or based on SQL code. So how will write if it is a SaaS model?
No. You want to write in the SaaS model.
Yeah, suppose like like cloud, we have SaaS model. Let's think that way. And in the SLA, I want to write a query.
You cannot do that. Those things somehow as a workaround with some accounting mapping set or derivation rules. Somehow you have to plan as a workaround. You cannot straight away do it how you do in on-premise or PaaS environments. So you can create your own rules. Mapping sets you can create, and you can copy the serial mapping sets, derivation rules, line types, etc. All you can do, and you can set based on the available parameters within that. But writing some queries and putting some conditions all doesn't support in this.
Okay. So what is the main industry? Industry is going towards to more as SaaS or PaaS?
SaaS.
Okay, thank you. I got my answer. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Lakshman, adding to that,
Yep.
not especially like a SaaS is the only thing which is ruling out. When companies like banking sectors and all, what they're doing is like since most of the customizations, reports and all going on, so they are connecting SaaS with PaaS.
Ravi, see, it's not like my own statement, it's an Oracle statement I am sharing. You are right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like, but let me complete this. So now Oracle is getting on board. Like, one of the banking sector which I'm working currently. So what they're doing is like Oracle is on board, and they have taken it as a challenge to integrate the on-premise. Like, currently we are in on-premise structure. So we have SaaS, PaaS, and then it goes to the Golden Gateway. So in terms of reporting structures and all, what they're doing is like it's a kind of a
No. See, Golden Gateway is one of the just component where you can move the setup.
component is right. So in order to integrate the Golden Gateway, so in order for the reporting structures and all, there is a kind of a custom solution they came up, kind of called as FDR, Financial Data Repository kind of thing, FDR reporting tool. So that reporting tool, based on the reporting tool, it's a custom tool. So that tool, what it do is like we can write all the queries.
Yeah, I got your point. You are talking about with respect to your client, what you see there. Okay, it's a very the discussion is. It's all about very high level. What is the majority of the subscriptions clients are doing? The majority of subscriptions are SaaS.
Yeah, but I cannot. I mean, I don't know whether I can agree with your answer or not. But most of the companies which I'm looking
I know very well.
they don't find any kind of customization solution for SaaS. So
I know very well. I'm into this from more than 3 years. I'm working as SaaS projects. I have seen many clients, and I spoke to this Oracle Cloud team also. So the fact is, so if 10 implementations are going to happen on the cloud, mostly 9 are on SaaS. That's it. That is a fact. Okay. So far
Lakshman, one question.
I could see 4 or 5 only PaaS models, PaaS implementations.
Lakshman, I have one question.
Yeah, Santosh. Yep.
Yeah, actually, my client is having a real estate company.
Mm-hmm.
They have the buildings or apartments. We create in the system as each one apartment or each one building has one unit code. We assign some unit.
Where
and this property.
No. You create where you create.
As a chart of accounts, we have one segment called property segment.
Oh, property.
Where we identify we have 100 buildings. So each building we give a notation as some 1, 2, 3, 4, some A1, A2, A3.
Okay.
And similarly, we have Oracle Property Management in EBS.
Okay.
Okay, so what my concern in chart of accounts, we do a customization in SLA. Whenever we create any invoice in AR, we want to associate this customer belongs to this property. So we customize the chart of accounts in SLA for the property segment.
Yeah, you may
when invoices get created, the revenue account, everything.
Some mapping set and all you can use to address that conditions.
So those are all will be available here also in doing that customization.
No, you cannot do that core customization. So you may use some mapping set definition where you can map that conditions for which customer, which code, etc. Those you can write. You cannot write the complex queries and all in case of SaaS model, which allows SaaS you can try.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Lakshman, when creating the primary ledger, you had used the standard accounting method, right?
Correct.
Can we look at a scenario, or do you have something in plan? Can we look at a custom accounting method as well?
Reality
down the line,
call it as custom. It's all about modified one. Yes, you may use the term as custom. So we can just use our
right.
We can make a copy and we can modify that with the modified rule. Yes, when we are part of subledgers and all, we'll see that. I'll take you through that, how to make a copy. If you want to change simple condition, how to do it, we'll see that. Because now we are
okay, thanks.
real side, right? So just journal ledger we are creating.
Right.
So even you cannot see the impact also. So when we are in the subledgers, we'll go with a simple rule so that you'll get understanding. If you know in EBS how that can be done, same everything you can apply here also. That works. Yeah, we'll see that.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah. Other questions, please.
Yeah, hi Lakshman, this is Nagaraj.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, is it the same process for secondary and reporting ledgers also?
Means same process. What exactly?
So what we follow the steps to create and specify ledger options for the primary ledger, right? So do we follow the same process?
In EBS, do you think same? No. So when you create the secondary ledger, you'll create it.
We direct
No. Against the primary ledger, we create the secondary ledger and we set the ledger options. When you create the reporting ledger, we'll create against the primary ledger. No need to set the ledger options. I mean to say
options. Yes.
The same rule. Same. Yes. How we do in EBS, same logic we'll follow here.
Yeah. Okay. Like Lakshman, can we associate some secondary?
Sorry. Just I lost you. I can't hear you.
Yeah. So Lakshman, can we create a secondary and reporting ledger and associate with the primary ledger and do a transaction?
Yes, it's not like you'll create and you'll associate. With association only you can create. First of all,
yes.
Without association,
yes.
Create. That's it. Yes, you can do that. So the same, like see the rules how we do in EBS same remain here. Okay, they didn't change much. Those rules and all certain things they change as announcements or futures, etc. But the standard process you follow that remains same in terms of configuration process. Yeah, anyway, we'll come to know all those when you work on the GL side. Since your questions related to GL, work on the GL, you'll come to know all those. Yeah.
Okay, Lakshman.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lakshman.
Yeah, thank you. So, any questions from anyone, please?
I do have a question, and thanks for the link you sent me.
Yeah.
But it's still the same problem. I'm still not able to download.
Okay.
It's wanting to save.
Can you be a bit loud? I can hear you, but I can. Hello?
Problems downloading.
Yeah, tell me, can you repeat your query?
I said I still have problems downloading the MP4 files, the video files you uploaded.
Oh.
I still cannot download them.
Please, my request is try to do the same from other system. Not the one which you are trying all the time. Try another system. You can find out where you have issue. Because
you mean do you have any other person having problems downloading?
No.
Or is it just me?
No. Yeah, only you.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, okay.
And just trace out what is the issue. Like you try from other browser. Sorry, other
I did.
other system.
I tried.
Other
okay, I'll try. I tried from. Okay, I will try it.
Please.
Another question: do we have access to practice the database?
Yes.
Okay, where can I find that access?
That I'll take you through that because we have a BA report, basic BA report creation. At that time, I'll take you through that from where you can connect, how to access the database, how to write the queries, how you can take the data into report definition. As a part of AP, you'll come to know that.
Okay, but for now, I want to practice what we've done so far, like creating the chart of accounts, creating the ledger.
Okay.
How do I have access to the
you have access
database?
to questions, right?
I don't.
You don't? Oh, fine. I'll be sharing. I'm sorry. I think you got it. Anyway, just have your mail ID. I'll be sharing maybe within 5 minutes.
Okay. So it's Anne, okay? It's Anne McLean.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, please.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So fine. Any other questions, please?
Lakshman, have been shared this daily classes onto G Drive?
Yes, I'm sharing. The last session is pending. That I'll be sharing along with the today's session, and the sheet also. The sheet which you see now.
Okay, thanks.
The sheet also I'll be just.
Okay,
I'll just the previous one I'll remove and I'll
on
this one. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
We are done for the day or anything else?
Done. We done 10 minutes back itself. So sharp 9:30. We can just any questions. Just we can have a discussion. That's what I'm here. Yep.
Sure. Have a nice day. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Desh. Thank you. Good.
Thanks, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow, same time. Have a good day and good night. Thank you all.